in our clothes getting high. Super fuckers! Everybody wishes we would die. Super fuckers! Here we come like a bomb. Everybody fucking run and hide.
I forgot how it started. Hey, it's the Pizza Party podcast by RebelTaxi. I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
I would just like to point out to everybody that the very second before he recorded, he said, "I forgot how to start this."
I didn't. He did. I forgot the intro. It's been like 2 weeks. Okay, it's been a while.
You did it for like 5 years. How do you forget?
I'm not into it. I'm like, I was on vacation recently. Well, not vacation. I was just like not feeling it. I was sick. But anyway, I'm back making videos.
We all heard it. His passion's gone.
No,
it's all done.
I was
dried up.
Loki IRL's almost finished. Issue 3. It's almost finished. But anyway, I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
Who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
What an interesting question.
Who am I?
Where do I start in the life of Nolan B? What chronicles shall I tell from my past?
Who am I? Starring Jackie Chan. Released 1998.
Isn't there a song called "Who Am I"?
There's a lot of songs that are named after a lot of things, so that ain't so special. I could say the word. I'm looking at my script. Holiday. That's a song somewhere for Green Day, you know.
How about Beef Queef?
I'm sure that's a song by some ironic hipster band or some edgy punk band. You know.
It just sounds like a band title.
Yeah. I'm Pan Pizza. Who is this? Who's this lady?
Hi. I'm Kaitrin Snodgrass.
What you do? That was so great.
I don't do anything, man. No. I'm an artist, but my day job is I'm the digital production assistant on Ben 10 at Cartoon Network.
Ooh, the original Ben 10. I love the original Ben 10.
God, and you're an asshole.
I was 15, so that would have been child labor. So
Shit.
No, not the original.
I can't believe Cartoon Network hired a 15-year-old to do these jobs on the original Ben 10. That's so sad. It's so tragic. I'm sorry for you. Yeah. So sad that you worked on the original Ben 10, you know, the classic. Yeah. But no, she doesn't work on the old Ben 10. She works on the current Ben 10, the reboot, the 2016, is it? 2017?
Yeah, I mean, it started production in 2016, so.
Yeah, sounds
about right.
Yeah, that's it.
The views of Kaitrin are of her own and do not reflect Cartoon Network.
What exactly is a production assistant?
Well, I'm a digital production assistant, so basically what I do is when the voices have been recorded and the storyboards have been boarded, I take all of the images and the audio and I build an animatic in a rough sense of the world. I basically just kind of line everything up together.
Essentially on video editing software?
Yeah, we use Premiere. And then I give it to our editor and then she goes in and she edits it and makes it like work and timing and stuff. And then when she's done, she gives it back to me and I go back through the storyboard and usually she sits down with our director and our showrunner while she's editing. So if there's any like revisions or things that like need to change, like they give me all of those images. And I also make sure that like everything ends up in the storyboard before we ship it off to Korea to get animated. Mm-hmm. So like we don't screw anything up and not send it overseas or something.
Because whenever I watched a cartoon, I used to wonder like, how do they know how much to animate? But I realize with your job, essentially you have to time everything, how the storyboards move along, and you time it to the voices.
Yeah, and then like once I'm done, we give it to our timing editor, and they actually use X sheets, and they time everything in X sheets because everything's still animated on paper overseas. So they basically they go through the X sheets and they go by that for the timing of the animation. Yeah,
basically, if you ever watch like a DVD bonus features of like the storyboards and it has audio playing underneath, like I assume that's what you sort of do.
Yeah, like I kind of help like put all that together.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like an assistant level of that, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you do. But were you a big fan of Ben 10 or no?
So I interned when Ben 10 Ultimate, it was Ben 10 Alien Force was ending and Ultimate Alien was starting up. So we were like getting animation back overseas for Alien Force, and we were starting boarding on Ultimate Alien, and I wasn't really into it when I was younger because I was like I said, I was 15 when the show was airing, so like I was a little too old for the target audience of Ben 10, and also like there wasn't any character that I like really related to in the original series. So I wasn't that into it, but when I got on later as an intern, I went back and I watched what had aired, and I really liked the later series. And then I really love Omniverse, so I actually watched, because Omniverse came after me. I actually did interview for a position on Omniverse, but I didn't end up getting it. But I had gone through and watched that, and I like love Omniverse. So I would say like I became a fan because I worked on it.
Also, Omniverse is great. I love Omniverse as well. So like, I'm like, let's talk about Omniverse.
It was just like the weird black sheep that everyone just like, what is this? Why is the style so different?
Yeah, I think it's because it changed. People had a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me personally, this was back during the Symbiotic Titan cancellation. Take a shot, guys. And I remember everybody in my Facebook group was like, "This looks exactly like Symbiotic Titan," even though it really didn't.
No.
But you know,
Oh, that's awful. That's dumb.
Hey, I was
That's such
interning
a
when
dumb.
Symbiotic Titan was still being made.
Aw,
wow.
sad.
And yet you watched it die, you bitch.
Yep, it's all my fault.
Whoa.
It's all my fault.
It's all
I'm the
Kaitrin's,
reason.
it's Kaitrin's fault, everybody. Hashtag occupy Kaitrin's house.
I'll never forget the day I went my first year of Comic-Con, I think 2011 Comic-Con, going to a regular show panel, accidentally sitting right next to like storyboard artists for a regular show and problem solvers, and one of them telling, like, I asked one of them like, "Hey, so what's the deal with Symbiotic Titan?" And some lady who storyboards for a regular show says, "Oh, that's never coming back."
What we don't know is that lady was actually Kaitrin.
Oh,
Yep.
It's all
Was
are
me.
like a prequel starting to fill together.
thanks a lot. An expanded universe. You were there from the start. It's like Timon and Pumbaa, Lion King 1.5, the best Disney sequel Disney ever made.
It's
Besides,
Kaitrin 1.5.
besides the Rescuers Down Under, of
My
course.
origin story is like
Yeah, you were
straight to Symbiotic Titan.
you were there all along, just in the background where no one would know, but you were there.
Up until now, that flashback was always shot to where her head wasn't shown,
The-
and now we went back. Pan looks slightly older, and it's shot where with our new guest star.
yeah. now it's shot in like 16:9 resolution, much better video quality than it was before, so things look a little off, but you get the idea. But Kaitrin, so didn't you also have something to do with like a Generator X?
Yes, I interned. So, back, I have kind of like a funny like internship story, just because like I was an intern when things like really changed. So when I was interning on Ben 10, Cartoon Network had unpaid interns, and because of that, they tended to take almost anyone who had like decent grades, who was like local, who applied. So I got in, like no problem. And there was about like one of my friends who was like in the class above me was an intern on Ben 10 with me, and like there was probably like 5 or 6 of us, but we like had different schedules. So they basically had like a full-time employee there all the time, but we were only there for like a couple hours a week.
Uh-huh.
And this is like I think it was the movie Black Swan, but what had happened was they had unpaid interns, and then they had promised all their unpaid interns they would hire them. And that was when like the economy crashed, and then like movies, people weren't hiring in a lot of studios. So they ended up not being able to hire these unpaid interns. And I think one of their parents was like a lawyer or something, and they ended up suing. I can't even remember, was it Fox or whatever company made Black Swan? And then ended up being a law that was passed that summer. So I actually left Ben 10, like Cartoon Network. I studied abroad in Japan that summer. And when I came back, this law had passed that basically said anybody who touches any production in any way at all has to be paid. So because you can't always, because like unless you're just sitting there like taking a class from everybody like working there, like you're gonna work on the show in some capacity. You're going to affect it in some capacity. So they ended up paying us, and so I applied again. And because I had done such a good job the first time, they wanted to bring me back. And they asked me if I wanted to go back on Ben 10, and I was like, well, I love Ben 10, but I kind of want to go on a different action show. And Generator X was the only one at the time, because I wanted to like meet more people, but I wanted to do action. So I was like, I'll do Generator X. And then HR goes, oh, by the way, you're getting paid this time. And I was like, yes. But then it was like, I was like working. And then it went from having like 6 interns on a show to like 1 intern on a show. And like, they put you to work. Every time I was there, they were like, here's a bunch of assignments to do. Cause that show was huge and they needed all the help they could get. But it was awesome. I learned a lot of what I do now working on Generator X.
But
Yeah.
Do you have any insider info on Generator X? Do you have any fun stories or anything of the sort?
Insider info. I'm trying to think, because like, I mean, mainly. So I guess like the only like fun, I guess kind of interesting thing about Generator Rex is because it was such like a labor of love in terms of like artistic direction.
Mm-hmm.
So Nolan Obena, who is the art director on Generator Rex, he's also the art director on our show. I remember when I was an intern, so they would do like these, they had like the most gorgeous, I think they won a bunch of Emmys actually for their backgrounds because they had these beautiful backgrounds. And like part of my job when I was an intern was, so they would have like the storyboard and then Nolan would be like, okay, Kaitrin, go through all the designs and try to find like reuse backgrounds so we don't have to paint or design another background. And I would like go through and I would find like the location and like it would always be like the angle would be slightly off and I'd show it to him and he'd be like, no, we have to redesign it.
Oh man.
So like that show was like it was intense. Like that show was like gorgeous looking, but like they really like did like 110% for those backgrounds.
Jeez.
But like you can really tell it looks amazing.
Generator X?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah. Do you know anything about the third season? Because that's a point of contention with fucking everyone.
What about it?
It was just like super fillery, and they the last few episodes were only plot related. Like they had an episode where they go to a soap opera studio.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's just funny. I like that episode. Sorry.
That's okay. I was just curious if there was like any particular reason why they like kind of like it was so backloaded at the end with plot.
I mean, I don't know because so Man of Action wasn't in-house back then. They're in-house now. Like they're at the studio all the time. I know them all. I see them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was an intern, they were like never there. So I think because it was script driven and not outline driven, they would write the scripts and then they would just bring it in. So in terms of like the writing process, I know nothing about it in terms of that. Like I only know about the art production on Generator X because it was all script driven. So it wasn't like the board artists although I know Eugene Lee, who's now a director on Voltron, and he was a board artist on Generator X. He actually did write a few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So he did get to write a few episodes, but like, but for the most part, I think like the writing was done like off-site. So I don't have any insider information on that.
How about the Ben 10 crossover? Like, how did that come to be? Was it like the Generator X people were like, hey, we want to do this? Was it Cartoon Network? Do you know anything about that?
That was after my time.
Okay.
But I feel like it was a surprising amalgamation of people who worked on it because one of my friends who was a character designer on Ben 10, Stephen Choi, he was working on it and I ran into him. I think I ran into him because I was like, I either had a job interview or I was just going to get lunch. I was at the studio for some reason. And I ran into him and he was like, I'm working on the crossover episode. And I was like, there's going to be a crossover episode? That's awesome. And then that was all. That's all I know about it. Like,
damn.
I don't have any. Yeah, a lot of this was like, because like, especially too when you're an intern, like you're not really privy to a lot of insider information unless you're like really hanging out with like everyone on the crew all the time. And like, you know, you're an intern, so you're still like a student. You're like a kid.
This reminds me, like, 2011 Comic-Con, I went to the Ben 10 and Generator Rex panel, which they had this humongous room, although the problem with Comic-Con is that mostly teens go to these things, not kids, so the room was like 1/10 filled, and it was kind of sad. But anyway, so I go up to ask a question. No, some kid went up to ask a question, and he said that the kid said, "Will Gwen and Kevin be in the Ben 10 Generator Rex crossover?" And I just had to see some creator of Ben 10 or whatever just say, "No, sorry, they're not going to be in it," and just crush that child's dreams right in front of him.
Were they in it? I thought they were. I don't know.
They were in for a split second when Ben is like talking about his world. He's like, I have friends on my world. And then they just kind of pose there. And
Yeah, it's like a static image.
No. Also at this Generator X panel, like I went up to ask a question. Like there was adults there. There was like some teenager dressed as a Generator X. So I wasn't the only man child there. Anyway.
Oh, cool.
So I asked like, hey, since Generator X can transform his fleshy body into like these robotic arms, sometimes like his robotic arms get like shattered to pieces and they fall to the ground. Like, do these shattered pieces the shattered robot pieces, do they just turn back into human flesh chunks?
Ew. That's gross.
Ugh. What's the answer?
No, because they're nanites. The
Yeah.
nanites just break apart.
Yeah, they just said that they're nanites. They just become loose nanites and they just dissolve into the air. That's a pussy response. I demand like the
No,
flesh.
but the thing is his arms aren't transforming though. That's not what his power is. He's not transforming his body. He's controlling the nanites around him.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
At least that's my understanding of it. I might be wrong. I mean, I'm not like a creator on the show.
No,
I'm also just
I
fan,
think
but-
I think it's that the nanites in his body would reproduce and form these parts, and then etc.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think it's his skin turning into the things. He's producing them,
Yeah.
That's not as fun.
But while we're on the subject of Generator X, I might have mentioned this very briefly on an earlier podcast, but this is something that like is creepypasta level weird for me.
Oh.
I went on this like foreign website, and it turns out it was like an alternate reality game website for Generator X, where you could watch videos of actual nanite mutations. There was this one candid camera thing where this kid is filming on his phone, and then it films his mom transforming into an Evo. And they interviewed Agent 6 and Dr. What's her name?
Dr. Holiday.
Dr. Holiday. And there was also a scene where you see Rex, and he's in this medical room, and he's really bored, and they're waiting for him to test his powers. So he transforms his arms, then he smashes a desk and flings it away, and he walks to the camera and he goes, "Now can we get pizza?"
That's from an episode. Is that from an episode?
No, this was live action, right?
Yeah, this was live action, and it was online, and it was this huge. And I remember I got an official Providence certificate, so I'm an official Providence member
Yay.
now. I just don't know where it is anymore.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
cool.
Now you can't enter the Providence building, which is now a shack somewhere in the middle of Arkansas somewhere.
Yeah, I know. If somebody can help me find this website again, I don't know if it's defunct or if it was archived somewhere.
Years ago,
But
I remember someone linking it to me, but who knows if it's still up. They also did the same for Secret Saturdays, where they would show like creepy footage of just like these cryptids walking through the environments. Who knows if
Which,
that's
by
up.
the way, Omniverse crossed over with the Secret Saturdays.
Yeah, also Cow and Chicken.
Couch.
Yeah. Yes, the cow chicken one is great. No, the Secret Saturdays. This is funny. So like I said, I watched Omniverse because of my job. I hadn't watched it, and I had no idea what Secret Saturdays was, and I had to look it up. Because I was like, why are they acting like these characters are like? I was very confused when I watched Omniverse. I was like, because I think that was like a time. There was just like a time period when I was in college where I just wasn't watching TV because I had college-y things to worry about, and I was just like, oh shit, like there's this whole other show that we're crossing over with. Apparently, that's cool.
That's a show that you kind of just like got brushed aside. Secret Saturdays.
I did go back and watch a couple episodes of it, and I think it had a really cool idea, but I didn't like the art style. And it's funny because in Omniverse, it looks so good. I was like, man, if only it looked like how it looked in Omniverse, because that would have been like a really...
Well, I kind of like the thick out. Oh, I love any thick outline style. It looked fine.
It wasn't the thick outlines that bothered me. I think it was more that the animation just looked really stiff.
Yeah, it was kind of like 2010 Cartoon Network, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Omniverse's art style, the Derek J. Wyatt aesthetic, I think both Omniverse and like Transformers Animated are both shows that were, when announced and shown, a lot of people didn't like, but now that they're over, everyone seems to remember them very fondly.
That's the nostalgia talking. Don't let it fool you.
No. Like for example, people hated Omniverse when it first, because it's an art style change. It wasn't boring and static and dull as like the other show, the other Ben 10, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. It was lively again, but that also made it look younger. And so a lot of people are like, well, Ben looks younger than the other series. And it's like, it's just an art style change, like he's still older, apparently that confused a lot of people. But Omniverse was just, it brought a lot of life back into Ben 10.
Yeah, I think the thing about Ben 10, and like this is like just my feeling on it, is I think Ben 10 is always best when it's slightly aware of what it is. Because as much as I do love, like, Dwayne McDuffie was a genius, and he created some of the cool stuff, but Ben 10 got very serious, and like I still like freak out, like I still like can't believe Ben got shot in an
What?
episode, and it was like played straight. Yeah, there's an episode of it's either an Alien Force or Ultimate Alien where Ben gets shot in the arm,
With a gun?
and yeah, like with a gun by this Captain Kangaroo or something like that. I can't remember.
Or he just pulled out a gun. He's like, I had enough, Ben 10. I'm not gonna use any fucking mutated animals. I'm gonna just fucking shoot you with a gun.
Well, first of all, Captain Kangaroo. I don't think that was his name.
Shit.
But
That wasn't his name. He was
No,
like, but you know who I'm talking. What?
Dr. Animal?
No. Captain, the kangaroo guy is from the original series.
I remember.
It's a
He's
Yeah,
an actor.
he was like some
it's
fucking.
Adam West.
Yeah.
Was he played by Adam West?
I mean, like it's an Adam West like role, you know. It's a whole
Yeah,
parody. Of
So-
Batman. And then
Basically,
they brought him back in Ultimate Alien, I think, as like that the events from the original Ben 10 made him into a bigger villain or something.
Shit.
he because he loses his fame because he's like cheating or something. He's doing something like shady, but like not evil. And like Ben exposes it in the original series. I can't really remember what it was, but because of that, his downfall, he like becomes actually straight up evil. And then for some reason, this like actress who like had been into Ben at one point, like she like has now fallen in love with this. So she's like probably late teens, early 20s, and this dude's like 60 or something.
Oh, shit.
And she falls in love with him, totally has like Stockholm syndrome, and she breaks him out of jail. And then Ben finds out that he broke out of jail, and he goes to like stop him. And then he finds her with her, and he thinks that she's been kidnapped. And then he realizes she's on his side. And then he shoots him in the arm, and then he like blacks out. And then the next shot is like Gwen driving, and she's like, "I took you to the hospital. You got shot." And he's like in a sling. And then he like turns into aliens, and every time he turns into an alien in the episode, the alien also has a messed up arm, which really bothers me because this is my stupid like Ben. This is me being a Ben 10 fan and being like, this doesn't make sense. Ben turns into Swampfire in that episode, and Swampfire, like Wildvine, can cut off his limbs and regrow them. For some reason, I'm like, if he hurt his arm, couldn't he just turn into Swampfire, chop off his arm would grow back, he turned back into normal Ben, and then his arm would be healed.
Oh.
But for some reason, in the episode, he's like still injured the whole time. And like the whole episode's like lesson is like, you can't help people who don't want to help themselves. And it was like very, I don't know, I always call it the Gone Girl episode because she like Gone Girls herself, and it's like super weird.
Okay, so some corrections here. So the guy's real name is Kane North. So Adam West parody there. Captain Kangaroo is actually a character from like a 80s show.
Yeah,
It's Kangaroo Commando is the guy's name.
I was close. I knew it was a kangaroo.
I'm only seeing appearances on the Ben 10 wiki for the original show and Omniverse.
It wasn't maybe it was a different character. It might have been a different character from that episode then, because like, let me see, like Ben 10 gets shot.
Because apparently in Omniverse he teamed up with Billions.
Yeah, that was really great.
Imagine fucking Adam West pulling out a Glock and just fucking shooting you in the arm.
It might not have been him then. It might have, because in that episode there were other like old timey like type heroes that were in the episode with him. But yeah. If I find it, I'll send it to you guys because I think about it a lot. It's like one of those things I think about a lot. I'm just like,
man,
I can't believe this happened.
He just pulled out a fucking Glock.
I love how Chris Pratt was in the fucking show.
What?
Oh, Chris Pratt predicted himself, and because he plays Cooper, and Cooper's like chubby and like you know, and then he comes back super hot, and Chris Pratt is playing him.
Oh. Was Chris Pratt flabby? Oh wait! Who's Chris Pratt again from
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Okay, I was thinking of Chris Pine. Never mind.
And whatchamacallit, Parks and Recreation.
I get these Chris's confused.
The episode's called Catch a Falling Star.
The one where he gets shot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like the episode of Static Shock where that one kid shoots Richie.
What's that? A gun. Okay, put it down. That's not funny.
Lots of things aren't funny. Breaking my computer wasn't funny. Shoving me in the locker wasn't funny.
Jimmy, you're right. I'm sorry, man.
No, you're not.
Jimmy, don't. He's not worth it.
She's right, man. You're all upset about this now, but next week, it won't even matter. Don't mess up your whole life over this.
Get him! Oh, it hurts. It's not like on TV.
This hurts way more than it does in the movie.
Yeah, like Richie gets shot in the leg and it said, "Ow, this hurts. It's not like it doesn't. It's not like how it is on TV. Ow."
Oh god, the villain of the episode is Captain Nemesis.
Really?
But in the episode, he's simply named Overlord.
Oh, that's guy.
Oh, I remember.
That guy's trying to compensate.
Like, I totally get why you mixed up, because they are essentially the same character design.
Did Richie deserve to get shot?
I don't remember him getting shot.
He's gay, so yes.
Well, okay, Nolan's gay also, so it's okay for him to say that. He's a self-hating gay.
No, but I was
Wait,
gonna.
but is Richie gay though?
Yeah,
Is that,
it's one of those it's one of those like we couldn't say in the show, but he was, you know.
Richie's based off two characters from the comic, and one of the characters is gay. And so like he's got the personality of one, the gay character, and then he has the appearance of the other. And so I think the showrunner, or maybe Dwayne, mentioned it on a question website. But if they could, Richie would probably end up being gay. Yes.
So bring back Static Shock on Cartoon Network because
Static Shock is dead because no one wants to work on it because it's like jointly owned with someone.
Oh yeah, it's kind of a weird legal thing.
It's isn't it jointly owned by Dwayne McDuffie, who is now dead?
I know it'd be his wife.
Yeah. But like they don't like completely own it, so it's just one of those things where they don't want to use the character because they would have to like split profits.
Well, he showed up in Young Justice.
Yeah, but I think that might have been just Greg Weisman being really passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited when him and like the Blue Beetle showed up at the end of Young Justice. Oh, I'm so excited for Young Justice to come back.
I was
Anyways.
kind of.
Oh man. Go ahead.
I was really hoping, like, I don't know, at one point Static Shock would appear on the Teen Titans or Teen Titans Go at least, but no, that never happened.
Because like Static Shock is such a cool character. Like he is DC's version of Spider-Man. And
Pretty much.
I love him, and I want him to be in everything. Like, because I grew up with Static Shock, you know.
Yeah.
I'm very nostalgic for it, and just like finding
same.
out all these like red tape and such prevents it. Just it's super sad.
Yeah. Damn.
I feel like they'll eventually, like, whenever they run out of ideas of things to make, they'll eventually go back to it, though, because, I mean, all that red tape was, like, stopping Spider-Man from being in the Avengers, and now he's in the Avengers. So I feel like red tape doesn't always mean never. It just means wait and see.
Well, with the Spider-Man thing, Sony was just doing so poorly with the brand. They were just like, okay, fuck it, you guys do it.
But also, Spider-Man is such a name brand thing.
That's true.
And not like, I mean, Static Shock is obviously known by us, but it's nowhere near one of the biggest superheroes. You know, like Spider-Man is guaranteed money.
Yeah.
That and also Sony is thinking, well, we only have a 3-movie deal with Marvel, and we might not even renew it. And it's just, what are you thinking, just dumb fucks?
It's it kind of disappoints me that like DC and like Warner Brothers didn't decide to go the route that like Marvel had done by picking like lesser known superheroes to like make some of their movies off of.
They'd made
You know what I
Jonah
mean?
Hex.
Jonah Hex would be great.
They did make that. It sucked. It had Megan Fox.
No,
in
I mean
it.
like recently.
Yeah, it happened like 2009.
That's
not recent.
Okay, well, still, that's pretty recent. It's not like Catwoman levels.
I more meant like when DC like restarted recently with like the new Superman and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it would have been kind of cool if they had picked some like lesser known, like a Booster Gold movie or something.
That'd be
like that.
cool.
I don't know,
Booster
like,
Gold, yeah.
Yeah, like if they decided to pick like lesser known superheroes in the DC universe and like hint that the other heroes are around, because like Batman and Superman are such big names, like people of course are gonna like know who they are.
Yeah.
Because I think that would have been cool. Because I like that. Because I didn't really know that much about Iron Man. Like when Iron Man came out,
No one
you know
did.
what I mean? Like
No one did.
yeah, no one did, and like that was brilliant that they did that. But DC's always like really scared to not use like the name recognition of their heroes, and I think that's unfortunate because DC has a lot of really cool B heroes. Like
Yeah. I mean, I guess Suicide Squad would be the closest to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they still fucked it up.
Yeah, they tried.
I would like a Green Arrow movie. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Fucking. Hey, Wonder Woman. That's related.
Oh yeah, apparently it did really well.
You guys, okay, so did anyone else see Wonder Woman? I'm assuming not, but I saw it.
I saw a superhero movie.
Which one was
We'll
it?
talk about that in a moment.
No,
Captain Underpants, guys.
look, I just want to say that Wonder Woman, it's like DC didn't fuck it up, you know. It's now they got a really, really, really good superhero movie, and it's basically Wonder Woman is basically everything I wanted Superman to be. All this optimistic, heroic stuff, like that's what Superman should have been. But no, so Wonder Woman had to fix that. So yeah, that was a great movie.
There's this image from one of the comics of Wonder Woman carrying Batman and Superman, and the word bubble just says, "I got this."
Yeah,
and it feels like the perfect image for the cinematic universe.
Sums it up. Because they.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I didn't get the chance this weekend. I did see the Clarence mini series this weekend in theaters because we got to rent out an AMC and I got to watch it with the Clarence crew.
Oh, that's cool. The one where they're in like a storm.
It's a stormy sleepover.
Yeah.
Clarence's stormy sleepover. It was really funny.
Yeah, we had
really good.
The writer and voice Spencer Rothbell on the podcast a few weeks ago, and he was telling us that there was a canceled episode about a tornado, but like I saw this preview for this hurricane episode. Is like, is it the same thing? And Spencer just says, "Nah, it's the hurricane. It's different."
Yeah, this episode is apparently they wanted from. This is like all hearsay from other people, so take it with a grain of salt. But because I don't work on that show, but I guess like originally they wanted to do like a summer camp episode. Like the studio wanted like a mini series about summer camp, and instead they were like, let's do this instead, and so they did it, and it's really funny. I don't know, I Clarence has like a very special place in my heart just because I love it. Like hits me right in like the like feeling of like when I was a kid and like just going out and playing with people. Like it does a really good job of capturing that, and so like this miniseries was like super funny and did like a great job.
See, I hadn't seen Clarence up until the podcast we had with the writer and voice actor. So I went back and watched it, and like I really enjoyed myself. I don't know why I was just turned off of it before, art style wise. I guess I don't know, but I just never had interest. And then after watching a couple episodes on YouTube, I was like, oh wow, this is really fucking good.
It's really good. Yeah, it's really funny, and also like everyone who works on that show. So we used to share a floor with them, and when I first started on Ben 10, like I started like on the beginning, so we didn't have like a lot of people yet. So I ended up hanging out with a lot of people on the Clarence crew because they're like right there, and like they're like the nicest bunch of people. Like I hope to someday work on a show with like amazing, like not that I mean I love our crew is great, but their crew is like a family. Like they're super tight, and I was just like, man, like I would love to like work on something like this someday, like and like have this sort of camaraderie because they're all like, you know, they're just like a great bunch of people.
Are the people
I'm sad that they're not there.
Are the people you currently work with are a bunch of assholes or what?
No, that's not what I mean. It's hard to. They also had been together for a long time, you know. Like we haven't, and also like I feel like on our show we work a lot, like we hit the ground running a lot, and like I don't know, I feel like I'm always busy. Like I do socialize with I'm friends with a lot of people on our crew. Our crew is really tight too. I don't know why I'm saying this. I guess it's because like they like they also like kind of like adopted us into like their friendship circle. You know what I mean? Our crew is also very tight. Although lately a lot of people are on hiatus because like we're, you know, switching seasons and stuff. Yeah. So it's like we're missing people. So it's like been really quiet lately. I'm like, where is everyone?
You guys want to get into the news, which is Captain Underpants?
Sure.
Yeah. By the way, the next video is going to be top 5 current cartoons. You know, stuff like Villainous. This thing called Buddy Thunderstruck, which I really love. It's on Netflix. It's this stop motion show produced by Robot Chicken, except it's a kid's show. It's not vulgar. It's just freaking crazy. It feels like if the movie Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby got a show. It's hilarious. Buddy Thunderstruck on Netflix. But yeah, let's get into Captain Underpants, because Nolan, you saw it.
Hold on. You forgot the most important news of them all.
What?
Oreo-O's are coming back.
Oreo-O's are coming back. The cereal of Oreos.
Holy shit!
From the 2000s.
That got discontinued?
Yeah. Where have you been? Have you never been to a supermarket?
I eat cereal with a normal amount of sugar in it.
Oh, I see.
Oh, shut up.
I eat Raisin Bran.
Shut the fuck up.
I like the little raisins and I like the little marshmallow chunks.
While we're on the subject of raisins, I had a conversation on my way to the Captain Underpants movie with my friend Spo, And he argued that chocolate-covered raisins are candy, and I said, no, they're not. They're just raisins covered in chocolate. That doesn't make it a candy because the base is still a fruit. So I want to ask everybody here and in the comments, are chocolate-covered raisins candy? Yes or no? And explain your reasoning below.
I don't even know how to answer that.
Does like chocolate automatically make stuff candy?
I mean, like,
No.
straw.
What, if you covered a Cheeto in candy, would it be candy? No, it wouldn't.
I mean,
so why
Oh,
would it...
wait. Because I get what is the definition of candy?
I don't know.
I mean,
Candy.
strawberry covered in chocolate is. I wouldn't consider that a candy. It's still a snack.
I mean, so far it's all junk
guys,
food.
Guys. Oh, I have an answer. And it does answer your question, Nolan. Sorry. A candy, noun, a sweet food made with sugar or syrup combined with fruit, chocolate, or nuts.
Son of a bitch.
Damn.
It's candy. Yeah.
It is candy.
Shit. So I guess chocolate strawberries are candy.
Yeah. So if you combine the two, it then
Wow.
becomes candy.
Eat shit.
Well,
Nolan.
Spo.
But that makes me wonder though: is yogurt covered raisins considered candy? Because yogurt is not candy, and raisins is not candy.
I would count as candy. It's in the candy aisle.
Yeah, I would probably too.
All right, new comment meme. Everybody say, "Go fuck yourself, Spo."
Go fuck yourself, Spo.
Wait. Okay, real quick. I just want to say, Nolan has been so excited about talking about Captain Underpants, and this is how you like derail yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck that.
You were so excited to talk about it.
This is more important, Izzy.
Good, settle the score.
Anyway, back to Captain Underpants.
Yeah, how was it?
It was the best movie I ever seen, and everybody on Tumblr is already making it Onceler 2.0, and I want to die.
Villeneuve is a Onceler 2.0.
Wait, what's Onceler 2.0 of Captain Underpants?
Okay, I'll explain with backstory. So, back when Illumination made the Lorax in 2012, was it?
Yeah.
I know what the Onceler is. I'm just confused as to...
Not everyone in the audience knows, so you know.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about the fad that happened on Tumblr.
I know. Okay. Yes, tell us the history of this.
So, originally in the original Lorax cartoon and in the book, you don't know what the Onceler looks like. He's just kind of like a green-armed guy who is just kind of like a faceless antagonist meant to represent, just sort of this the vague idea of corporations and consumerism, and there's some term for the expansion of what's the term? Where industrialization, I guess, would be a good term. I don't know. So he's meant to be a symbol. He's not meant to be a character. He's meant to be a sort of symbol in the story. But Illumination is not smart enough to write a character like that for an hour and a half, so they give us this pretty boy, foppish son of a bitch, voiced by Ed Helms, and he goes from being this innocent guy who just wants to make a living in the world and prove his family wrong, to being this green-suited bitch and who sings a musical number about how bad can I be even though I'm destroying the fucking earth. So... this people on Tumblr love white people, like pretty white boys, contrary to what you would believe. And eventually, somebody on Tumblr got the idea, hey, the green-suited Onceler is a lot different than the Onceler that was first introduced. What if they were like two separate characters? So eventually, the Onceler, the pre-good Onceler and the pre-bad Onceler and the post-bad Onceler became separate characters on Tumblr and started interacting with each other. And then they said, hold the fucking phone. What if we took it a step further? And so they started coming up with Onceler AUs, where the Onceler was either a doctor or a superhero or pregnant, etc. And I knew people. I had friends who were in the Onceler thing. One of them made a Blackler. One of them made a Naruto Onceler, I think, or just ran a roleplay blog with multiple Oncelers on it. And it just fucking got out of hand, and it was insane. And now, come Captain Underpants, where we have Mr. Krupp, this asshole principal, gets hypnotized by the kids, and he becomes Captain Underpants. So, and he's also voiced by Ed Helms. And I'm scrolling through the Captain Underpants tag now, and I already see an AU where Captain Underpants and Mr. Krupp are interacting with each other, and also George and Harold are fucking. Thanks, Tumblr. You've ruined everything once again.
Damn. So all you gotta do is make a tall, skinny character with a top hat, and you're set for life, or 6 months in Tumblr time, whatever.
No, you just need somebody you just need a cartoon character that has a different form or personality trait. Then they switch back and forth, and then
but they have to be voiced by Ed Helms, right?
They have to be voiced by Ed Helms.
Maybe the internet just has it real bad for Ed Helms. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that. Ed Helms is a fuckboy.
I don't know that much about Ed Helms. Helms' personal life.
So how was the movie, Nolan?
It was fucking amazing. It was honestly one of the best adaptations I've ever seen.
I mean, stylistically, it looks good. Like, I mean, does it follow the books?
It actually does something that I prefer in an adaptation, where it takes elements from the source material and makes a new story with it that fits the medium it's supposed to make. Which is what an adaptation should do. But for some reason, people are obsessed with making something that's completely one-to-one, but changing shit, and then not satisfying anybody. But DreamWorks was smart with this. And it borrows elements from the first, second, and fourth books, and then it has a bunch of references to every other book in the series.
Oh, cool. I'm excited to see it.
And the best part is it's a self-contained story, and it does the sequel hook in a very, very, sort of the adventure continues type way, where it's like, oh, if it didn't get a sequel, it'd still be a satisfying ending.
Yeah.
But if it did get a sequel, it'd be like, hey, it would make sense. But because they didn't cover a lot in the source material, because apparently the last couple books in the series get super science fiction-y, and there's a ton of time travel and stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
this movie. I'll go on.
Isn't the movie officially called Captain Underpants the first epic adventure?
No, it's called the first epic movie, and the reason it's called that is because the books, it would be Captain Underpants or The Adventures of Captain Underpants, and it would say the first epic novel by Dave Pilkey. So, and every subsequent book would be like the second and third, fourth epic novel by Dave Pilkey. So that was the idea they were going for, and honestly, it was amazing, and it was really good, and again, I want to mention that this was not an in-house movie by DreamWorks. This was outsourced to a Canadian animation studio. And if you didn't know that, you would not tell the fucking difference, because they did such a good job.
Yeah. I'm assuming with all the stylization, like, they saved a ton of money. Like, they're not trying to be uber realistic and have, like, check out our ultra super awesome snow effects here.
Also, outsourcing it makes it save a lot of money, which is scary.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to be like, I think the fact that it's Canadian is what saved them a lot of money.
Because I'm kind of worried.
It's funny.
I hope it's not another Sausage Party incident. But, it has more money than Sausage Party, so I'm kind of have faith in it.
Well, the thing that, I actually had a teacher from college who, shared an article in our, private Facebook group, and he was basically like, what is the thing that I noticed about this article? And I was basically talking about it, and everyone was like, that's animated in Canada, because, I think it's, a big fear. Or a lot of, not to because Canada doesn't have an animation union like we do in the U.S. So, honestly, if you're working in the U.S., you're going to be in a better situation, as an individual. But it's just a little fearful too, because I know DreamWorks has been outsourcing a lot of their stuff recently, to overseas studios, and so it's just a concern of if you could do a whole production and put most of it overseas, it is kind of worrisome for artists here.
Because I worked for a Canadian studio for a little bit when I worked for Kulapari.
Oh yeah.
Netflix hired. I can't remember what the studio's name was, to be honest.
The thing you didn't get credited on.
Yeah, the thing I didn't even get credit. Oh God. Okay. I don't know if I ever updated this on the podcast. So I worked a little bit. I animated on Kulapari Army of Frogs, and it was Canadian project, and it was cool. It was like, oh hey, cool. If I animate 1 second, I get paid $35 Canadian. And, after working on 15 seconds worth, I find out that, okay, so the conversion rate to American basically halved it. And then I had to like take a third of that to taxes. And so I was working lower than minimum wage on this show that has the fucking title Army in it. So there's like dozens of characters in each shot. And I'm like, all right, fine. You know, I did enough. I'm going to be on the credits. That's all I really wanted from this. And I go to the episode I worked on, and I find out that either the studio or Netflix just took the first episode's credits and put them on every episode. So anyone that worked on episode 2 or later did not get credited properly.
Oh.
And all I did was, oh, hey, sorry about that, guys. Here's a big credit list. So on their website, you can go and look at the credits. And apparently I did so good, I was credited twice. But yeah, there you go.
Damn.
That's the story.
Well, that sucks.
On June 2nd, prepare for
The amazing Captain Underpants!
the sky.
He's still a work in progress.
Superheroes, supervillains, do this. Action, adventure, robots, dolphins, purple gorillas. Oh boy. And a shrink ray. What does this button do?
Oh, no!
I honestly didn't think that would happen.
DreamWorks Captain Underpants. Rated PG.
So
Hey.
Captain Underpants.
Yeah. So that was a good movie, you know. Outsourced to Canada.
You know, I'm sure the Canadians were paid well. They were
Hopefully.
probably paid American dollar reduce.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I hope so too, because I feel like DreamWorks wouldn't. I mean, DreamWorks might try to save money on the because Canada's just going to be cheaper in general, but I feel like they wouldn't try and they wouldn't pull a sausage party.
I feel like the thing is, we've already known if it was.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I feel like there would have been a big enough outcry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. The fact that it was outsourced and made on a cheap budget, it's you can't tell at all. It looks great.
Yeah. Look,
Now, I
think
want to
the thing-
say,
Okay.
sorry, I just want to throw this out because Pan said something about it being cheaper because it's stylized, and I don't know how true that is for this style of stylization, this 2D style, where like everything's like try to make, because with like Peanuts, for example, whenever the character turned its head, they clearly had to warp and change the model. So they most likely had blend shapes. So whenever the character turned its head, they would have like two different like sets of models, and then it would blend into each other. So in some ways, it might be more work for modeling purposes. So I don't know 100% sure. I'm completely unaware, but I wanted to throw that perspective out there.
okay, yeah.
Well, with the Peanuts, it was animated. It was animated similar to the cartoon, whereas Captain Underpants is a 3D movie that looks like a 3D movie, moves like a 3D movie, and the characters do change shapes and stuff. But I don't remember seeing anything that you describe.
Okay.
Plus, another thing that they could have saved on is that Dave Pilkey's style lends itself to being able to recycle the same character design with minimal changes.
Oh yeah.
So possibly they could have recycled the same model and just added stuff onto it. So that could have saved a lot of money too, because I mean, not that it was just super distracting or anything, like I could tell, but I was just too enamored by how it was animated to care. But a lot of the faces in the movie are the same. Like George and Harold had the exact same face, and they have the exact same body type. So you just, and a lot of the kids do as well. So you could just probably take the same base model and just change it around a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, the thing is, the cast in comparison, even including background characters, is really small. It's really small. I saw a lot of the same characters, but the movie was directed in such a way that it made sense that they were there, because the movie mostly takes place in the school. So you see the same few kids and then a couple of other kids in like big crowd scenes. So it was never distracting. And when you went to the city, it was appropriately populated to where it was cost effective, but it wasn't distractingly barren. So they did looking at, like, I didn't pay attention to that during the movie, but in hindsight and looking back and remembering it, they did a very, very good job at reusing assets in a way that wasn't distracting.
So to reference what you're talking about, the reusing the character models, There is a rig that I got to play around with when I was doing 3D animation in school called the Morpheus Rig.
Mm-hmm.
And the it's a free rig for people to use that a lot of students use because you could actually, there's sliders and such where you can basically change the character. It can look like 15 different things. Let me see if I can pull up an image for you. But what you're saying is totally doable.
It's essentially like a character creator.
Yeah, but you can animate it. So check this out.
I remember the Incredibles behind the scenes. They were talking about that. They had to make a bunch of crowds.
This right here is all these things in the same rig.
I'll link to this below, but yeah, all these models were from the same sliders of just
oh, interesting,
adjusting the heads and I assume the bodies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I know nothing about 3D. This is cool.
I'm assuming they could have done something. So I have the art book for the movie, so I could there probably have something in there. This is the only art book for a Western movie I ever got.
Since the movie's so cheap, I'm sure they'll make a sequel. Possibly. I mean,
hope it made half its money back in the box office, but in comparison to other DreamWorks movies, it's really lowballed.
Well, I mean, yeah, but also you got to consider international because how much will this make?
I know, but the thing is, I don't know how well it'll do international because a movie about a fucking bald dude in his underwear flying around, I don't know. I don't know how other countries would react to it. I'm sure I don't even know if Australia would like it because Australia likes to censor stuff a lot.
But I'm still up for the idea of a live action Captain Underpants movie starring Frankie Muniz as one of the kids. Who's the guy from who's the guy from Big Fat Liar? The Marty Wolf.
Paul Giamatti.
I want Paul Giamatti as Captain Underpants, and I just want this to be a live action movie where everyone's just like, why the fuck did you people make this? This is just wrong,
It sounds like your version of the live action movie is just the Fairly Odd Parents live action movie.
Yeah, but this will be a lot more uncomfortable. And I kind of just I don't want to watch it. I just want it to exist. That way we can be like, what the fuck?
There was going to be a live action movie way earlier, and Dave Pilkey wasn't certain about giving his his property to people, to other people, and then eventually DreamWorks came along and he was sold.
Yeah, I don't know how you could have made that into a live action. The fact that someone considered it, some studio was like, yeah, this looks like a good idea. We should make this into a live action movie. Yeah, it's something.
Well, it's the same thing as everything. It's oh man, this one live action movie.
It's a grown man in his underwear hanging around a bunch of kids. That's not gonna be a good live action movie. Hell no.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying that it's not that preposterous in the mindset that.
Yeah, I agree. It's not preposterous.
When a studio goes, "Oh, hey, this book series did really well as a live action show or a live action movie. Quick, let's do the same thing. I don't care what it is. Just put it in greenlit."
Yeah. Also, why we can never have a live action Astro Boy. That's not gonna fucking fly. That's just terrible. Just.
Oh no, my son was incinerated!
Oh yeah, that was a classic scene in the movie. The fucking Nicolas Cage's son got fucking wrecked. In real life though, and also the movie. He played the father Astro Boy.
Oh, he did? I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, no one remembers that movie. It was by Illumination. No, wait, what's it called? Imagi, the ones who made the Ninja Turtles thing.
Oh yeah, I remember watching that.
Yeah.
I watched that in theaters.
Isn't Imagi dead?
Well, Imagi had a lot of weird plans, like a Legend of Zelda movie. There's a teaser available online for a Zelda movie by Imagi, and also G-Force. What's that? Guardians of the Planet. What's that anime? The classic anime that looks like Voltron but isn't.
When you said G-Force, I assumed you meant the guinea pig.
No. There was another anime called G-Force, but they were gonna make that. There's a preview for that somewhere online, but those were never approved, and I think Imagi's just dead now. So,
their website's still up.
Yeah, well, maybe they're still around making commercials or whatever. Yeah, sad day.
But hey, we're getting closer to the Death Note movie. It's gonna be so bad. I'm so excited.
Oh, I was like, it's not a TV show. It's a Netflix movie.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
good.
It's gonna be awful. Don't kid yourself.
Come on. Let's just have some faith.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it. I can't wait.
I mean,
but
I don't care about
There's
Death
stuff in
Note.
that trailer that looks good.
Yeah, I'm not that invested in Death Note, so I'm actually like I don't care that much.
I mean, like I never cared about Death Note, but it's like, it's a simple premise.
Wait. How did you not like Death Note? There's a goth girl.
I
in
didn't
it.
watch it. I can't watch every show ever made.
Well, are you gonna watch
With
it
a
now
goth
that you know
girl.
there's a goth girl?
Not really. I don't know. It's live action, so it's like, is this chick like 16? Hell no. What the
Okay,
fuck?
first of all, Death Note, the original show, is an anime, so it's animated.
Uh-huh. Well, is the new
He's
live
like,
action one gonna have goths? I don't think so.
She looks like she's a cheerleader now.
Well, that's even worse.
How fucking American aesthetic can you be that they turn the goth chick from the Japanese thing into a fucking cheerleader? Are you kidding me? That's hilarious.
It needs to be
Well, she's in the Japanese, in the original, she's a pop icon gothic Lolita girl, and in this one, we don't know what she is, but I'm assuming in the trailer the goth cheerleader girl that's like smoking randomly, like it's such an odd cut to throw in there. I'm assuming that's Misa or Mia in the new version.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. But, hey, you want to get into some other news? Depressing news?
Sure.
This is CNN.
I guess we should address some, terrible rumors about the Powerpuff Girls crew that happened recently.
Oh yeah, it's a bunch. I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okay.
We don't need to cut it out.
Will you get in any trouble for talking about that or no?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that what the internet thinks is completely untrue. So I don't know if me being here is gonna affect the rumor mill, but
Okay.
I don't
Well,
want you to get in trouble. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I don't think I'll get in trouble because what the internet has said has happened is completely not what happened. But I also don't really know that many people who work on Powerpuff Girls, so because they're on a different floor.
huh.
So it could be true.
Oh, no.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I know. Well, Pan, tell the thing, and then I'll tell you my 2 cents on it.
Okay, so essentially what happened is people started to look at the new Powerpuff Girls reboot, and there was this one character who was like a love interest to Blossom, and there were all these weird, creepy images of them together, like him all buff and Blossom fawning over him, and one where it's like a Phantom of the Opera thing, and Blossom's blushing and he's over her, and it's just weird. And it turns out this one character looks very similar to one of the writers, and it turns out this writer also worked on the episodes that this character was featured in, and he also voices it, and everyone started to assume this guy was creeping on Blossom and drawing himself in some sort of fantasy adventure, which when I heard that, I was like, that sounds pretty weird, but it's kind of normal that people insert themselves into these cartoons,
Yeah.
like Pendleton Ward's a Lumpy Space Princess, or Eileen is the voice actor of one of the storyboard artists for regular show, who also came up with the character. So it's kind of typical. So although maybe the romance part is kind of just a little weird, but overall, just the idea is it's kind of normal. These people insert themselves into the show.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
I'm in an
two
episode
stories.
of Ben 10, so.
Well, right now there's 2 stories going on with it. One half is everyone just assumes he's the guy, wrote himself into it. The other one is he wrote a character, and then the design team's like, oh, hey, we'll make it look like him. And then they're like, oh, hey, we might as well, since it looks like him, let's have him voice him. And that's the safe story, the one where people from the show is yeah, this is what's happening.
I mean, that sounds. I mean, just from so I can't speak on it because I don't work on that. I can't speak to what happened on that show because I don't work on that show and I don't know these people. But I can speak to what happens on our show, which is oh, hey, we're gonna design this character because I mean, I know it's pretty commonplace. Pretty much almost every show I think Cartoon Network does this, where the background characters or side characters will be drawn to look like someone who works on the crew, just because it's a funny thing to do and the character designers like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it happens all the time. I show there's actually one of my friends is in the Ben 10 no, 2 of my friends are in the Ben 10 game, the mobile game, are the one that's online. Their incidentals got in the episode, and then their incidentals are also in a game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
this happens all the time. And so my thought on it is probably they just designed a character to look like him, and then whatever the process of writing, the character got written that way, and that's just how it happened. I can't imagine a grown professional person would have, like, I don't know. I always hear these salacious stories about like this happened at Cartoon Network or other studios where like they're doing this, and I'm always just like, the truth is often way more boring and mundane than what people think is happening.
Yeah.
And that's why like when I heard this story and I like read it, I was like even when I read it initially, I was like, there's no way this is true. Because like just from my experience of having worked in animation, I read what like fans say about our show and the production of our show, and I'm always like, this is so not even a little bit true, and the truth is boring. Like it's not interesting. That's why like these rumors are interesting. That's why it gets traction on the internet. Like the truth is often not as salacious or interesting. So I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents on it. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but like I very seriously doubt that this grown adult human person was like, I'm gonna write a self-insert character of myself and put it into my own show. Like that's like, I mean, that's like next level. And I'm pretty sure that like we hire people that are like decent, normal human beings for the most part. Like everyone I work with is really cool and nice. So I can't imagine like that being something that actually happened.
Don't be surprised if I were to ever work on Teen Titans Go and like suddenly there was a new character, a pizza man, comes over and like is best friends with Raven and stuff. Don't be surprised if that were to happen. Yeah.
You're gonna try and break up the Beast Boy Raven ship? How dare you?
Come on, Mama. Why you gotta cheat on me with the pizza man?
So kind of similar. My friend Sam, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Alice. He was one of the character designers for the first season of Archer.
Oh, cool.
And so he has this role where he always makes a background character look like him. He wanted to be every show he works on. He wanted to be in it. And so it's just like a random agent at Archer's like farm or whatever the thing
ISIS.
is. Whatever we call it, agents.
This was before ISIS was a thing, so the Archer was called ISIS.
I know. I bought my boyfriend a shirt that said ISIS before ISIS was a thing, and now he's like, I can't even wear this shirt.
Yeah.
Well, so in a later season after the guy left, they finally like, oh, hey, we need a character. So they used him and made it like a speaking role. So it's not the guy who designed him. But all of a sudden, Sam Enos's character, like, I think gets shot or something.
Oh, is he the guy that gets shot all the time and then like finally ends up dead? Like,
I don't know if he gets shot all the time. I think he gets shot once.
There's a recurring gag where a guy's always getting shot in the background, and like the Archer's always like, walk it off, man.
But the guy who was accused for the Powerpuff Girls thing, like at Comic-Con, like he was the one who signed my Powerpuff Girls poster with both his name and also he wrote "Can't wait for part 2," and he was referring to my review of the Powerpuff video. He's out there.
Yeah, well, I think I mean, as someone who also works on a reboot, I think you kind of just have to take that kind of stuff with a grain of salt because. Yeah,
it's like they knew what they got themselves into. It's like working on the Death Star. You know what you signed up for.
I mean, like everyone, like I knew, like as soon as like we got announced, like I was like, yeah, people are gonna be mad at us, but it's like, but the thing is like, this is also like the truest thing because I love reading people like online. This is just like as someone who's. Because I wasn't working in animation for a while, and now I am working in animation, and I'm also a fan of animation, and I am in fandoms and stuff, so like I get it, but like it's really fun to read stuff where people have no authority or no information, and they say things because I'm like, man, more often than not, what the internet thinks as a collective is very much the opposite of like especially with popularity of shows. Like the internet being angry that a show like Teen Titans Go is like the perfect example. Like people being like, it's so terrible. Like, why is it being made? And it's like so popular with kids. Like all kids love it. And I'm just like, man, the internet is always like wrong. I feel like if the internet hates your thing, it's probably really financially successful. Which is like really funny.
It kind of depends. Like sometimes it could be one way or the other. Like, like Teen Titans Go is hated. But it's hated by like adults, but like a lot of kids really love it, the younger kids. So it kind of finds a market. It's
almost like it's popular with its targeted demographic.
Whoa, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think people on the internet just forget that target demos exist.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always really funny to me, especially when people like, I don't know, like people hate our show, but my 10-year-old cousin calls me up and he's like, Kaitrin, I saw your name in the credits and it was awesome and I love Ben and I want to turn into an alien. And I'm like, cool, great. I'm like, I love that you love it. And they do, and all of his friends love it. And like, he's like, they all think he's cool because like I work on it. And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I review something, I'm essentially thinking how I would review something. Like, well, how I personally would like it or not. I'm not going to say, like, I don't like it, so kids shouldn't be allowed to watch this, or this should be canceled. Because, like, I mean, if something like Teen Titans Go is successful, like, obviously, it's people are watching it, and I can't just say, well, these kids don't know what they like. They need to like what I like. But people...
Godpan, what are you, Mr. Enter?
But anyway, like, people...
Okay, the entire time we're talking about this, I know we're, like, trying not to talk about YouTubers and shit, but, like, every other, like, 5 minutes when, like, Kaitrin's like, oh, you know, the fans barely know anything about this, but they have these opinions. It's like, I keep thinking, that's why I can't stand watching Mr. Enter, is that he truly believes he knows the process, and he says so many wrong shit.
My God, him, okay, there's this, I don't know if I want to, like, call out YouTubers, but there are a lot of animation review YouTubers who probably listen to your podcast. So I'm just going to say, if you are an animation reviewer and you listen to the Pizza Party podcast and you don't know people who work in animation and you don't work in animation, you probably don't know what you're talking about because
rude. Fuck you, lady.
Not you, Pan, but like, because you actually get
Pan. No, include Pan. Include Pan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The reason I like your videos, because I started watching your videos a long time ago, and the reason I like your videos is because you'll usually have a good reason why you'll be like, well, maybe this is this, and you tend to be a lot more right or like understand how this business works than a lot of other people. Because I have seen like people who basically have these opinions and they like talk about it, and I'm like, you don't understand how a business works, you don't understand how animation works. And you have like all these opinions, and I'm like, and it's fine to have an opinion because I think like being critical and like reviewing shows is great. Like if you want to dislike a show and you have critical reasons for it, like that's fine. Like I don't have an issue with that. But like I more have an issue with them being like not understanding how the business of it works and being like, I don't understand why they're making these things because it's not making them any money. And I'm like, clearly if they're making it, it's making them money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna keep renewing shows just because.
Like how there's people make these posts like how to make Cartoon Network great again, and it's like air the old shows that have been existing forever and do this, and it's like it's all stuff very catered to that particular person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And while it might be popular with the people that watch him, because usually you tend to subscribe to people with similar opinions, from the grand scheme of things, just showing reruns of Scooby-Doo and Bugs Bunny really doesn't entice a newer generation.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, in their defense, I know, sacrilege, but I really don't want to watch Teen Titans Go all the time.
Okay, well, hang on. Well,
in their defense.
Okay, yeah, but let me just say, like, reruns aren't profitable anymore. Like, back in the 90s, like, you could have a channel with a lot of reruns and stuff since there was no other way you could watch these shows. You couldn't stream them or watch them on DVD or any other way. But now, you can, like, if you miss an episode, you can watch online with all these other streaming services or illegally or DVDs and stuff. So, like, just a channel of reruns.
You can't say illegally because we have an industry person here, you fucking idiot.
Wait, what?
What? Nothing?
We can't...
I don't
care. The Pizza Party podcast does not endorse illegal streaming.
Yeah, but essentially that's how people do it.
I already got paid for the episode. I'm not paid per you watching it online illegally, so I don't care.
Okay.
No, I'm not. Don't watch things illegally, guys.
Yes.
I don't condone it. I'm making a joke. It was
yes.
just a joke.
Guys, if you watch an episode legally, Rob Sorcerer will come down here and kick Kaitrin's ass.
What the fuck is
Actually,
that?
I have a really good question.
I might actually.
Okay, so have you ever watched the show you worked on illegally? Or do you have like the clips because you worked there?
Oh, there's no reason for me to watch it online illegally. To be honest, like once you've seen it like as many times as I have, there's not really a huge desire to go online and try and find the episode. And also, like I have access to it if I needed to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just imagine a scenario where like, oh hey, I'll show you this thing. I don't have the file with me. Kiss cartoon.
Oh shit.
No, I've never done that.
Why are you guys so obsessed with trying to get Kaitrin into legal trouble, you fuckers?
But
I'm not trying to. I just thought it'd be a funny story.
I need to finish my
No,
thingy.
I mean I've never needed to, and it's funny too because like we recently we had our premiere party recently, and it's so we're in a kind of a unique situation because we're airing internationally first, and then in the U.S. and then we had our premiere party like so much later after it had already been airing internationally. So by the time we had the premiere party and we watched the first episode again, I realized, like, sitting there, I was like, I can say the lines like with the episode because I've seen it so many times.
Oh man!
By the time it comes out, that I'm just like, wow, like, and like I'm one of those people, which is also like really good for my job since I do work in production. And like I kind of have like a sponge brain where like I can just remember stuff really well. So I was just sitting there like, wow, I can't believe like I'm like I can like quote all these lines from these episodes, and like I last looked at it like, you know, a year ago or whatever. I was just like, damn.
But but to finish off, like reruns don't do well anymore. Like, so having a channel just like, oh yeah, the 90s are back channel, like, unless it's like at 12 a.m. when no one cares, like you can't really have a big.
Well, I mean, that's what Boomerang is for though, because like Boomerang reshows
doesn't
like
really
a lot of
air as many reruns anymore. Just it's just.
See, I don't even know. I don't have cable, guys.
Yeah.
Similar to.
I guess you do raise a good point, Pan, in that reruns are kind of irrelevant in the digital age.
Yeah.
But I guess that begs the question though. It's eventually people are going to stop watching TV eventually, you know?
Yeah, eventually.
Definitely.
Well, I don't think it will go away completely, but I think like people. I think streaming will eventually take over for a new generation.
Because you know what I really want right now? Is I want a pizza.
I kind of miss being able to just turn on something and not having control of what I watch a little bit. Like, I mean, obviously, if I want to watch Teen Titans Go, I can just turn on Cartoon Network because it's always on. But like, I miss having that channel flipping experience because like I sometimes watch episodes out of order randomly on Netflix just to give that sensation of like randomly watching syndication.
This is I wanted to say something about but I remembered, and I should have said this at the beginning, but I'll say it now because I'm on this podcast as me, an individual, and not as a representative of who. So my opinions are mine alone. Kind of blah blah blah. Sorry, I forgot to say that earlier because But anyways, I'm a big actually proprietor of cord cutting because like as much as I do like watching cable, I can't justify like the cost of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I mean, I get there's some internet TV services now. I haven't actually used any of them where you can like buy like a package or whatever. But like I'm very pro like going into the new media era of like we don't have cable anymore and you can just watch what you want to watch. And I love like how DreamWorks is doing it with Netflix and like just like like Troll Hunters and Voltron just like dropping them and you can watch like a whole season at one go. Like I'm a big fan of that just because like it's like I don't know, it's cheaper and everybody gets what they want.
Yeah, and cable companies are kind of starting to panic now because nobody wants cable anymore because depending on the area, for example, when I moved here to North Carolina, we only had a Time Warner cable, which is now Synergy, I think. And eventually, me and my dad just realized, well, we don't watch TV anymore, so let's just get rid of cable. And he installed an antenna just so he could watch the news and sports, and that works great for him because he doesn't have to pay anything now.
Yeah.
And cable companies are now realizing, oh shit, well, we have to remake the profit somewhere. So now they're going after net neutrality, which is really worrisome. And we have to keep calling our fucking representatives over this fucking shit every other month, which is annoying because they're constantly pushing it, and then it just is getting ridiculous. They keep. Yeah.
Has anyone actually like called the representative? Like, what happens when they answered? They're like, "Yeah,
It's an answering machine."
No, they never answer.
Oh, okay.
It's an answering machine.
Shit,
I
thought we were like bothering them. Like,
no. It's actually pretty great. It's like the system. I think because they need a volume of calls, and a lot of the times with those things, you can usually find like a website. I can't think of any right now, but like usually there'll be like a website, and they'll be like, "Here's the number of your representative." You like put in your like zip code or whatever. And then you call your representative, and then usually they'll have like a little like paragraph that you just like read, like, "Hello, this is blah blah blah. I'm calling about this issue, and this is my opinion on it," or like whatever they say, like, "Please vote for this or don't vote for this. Vote yay or nay or whatever." And you just like read it, and it's like, but it's good because then you get like they see like, oh, I'm getting like so many calls about this issue, so I should care because it's what my constituents want.
Yeah, and some don't care, and then they get voted out of office, and then they become hobos.
Oh,
yeah, like Paul Ryan, he doesn't care. He turned off his thing. Like I can't remember what the issue was, but he turned off his like call thing, so you like couldn't call him anymore and like about issues.
Ugh. What a dick.
Don't know who that
Yeah,
is,
he's
but
an
hey, yeah.
He's the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, I don't know.
Basically, net neutrality is important, kids. If you want to be able to keep watching Netflix and other shit and not have to be paid fast lanes, call your representative. I'm having trouble remembering the exact information. I admit I'm still working off hand. But it's important.
But also, like, going way back, like, I just want to say, like, I'm not reviewing, like, people will always use the argument, going back to Teen Titans Go, about, like, it's only successful because that's all they play. It's like, kids don't watch it just because it's on TV. There's other channels, like, if you have Cartoon Network, you're bound to have Nickelodeon and stuff. Like, they don't just, there's a reason why they're playing that over and over again, because otherwise, if they wanted a show to be successful, they would just have to play it a lot. But this gets enough viewers that kids are watching it.
I also think too, this is like something that I was thinking about the other day when I was at the gym, because I noticed that there was like a lot of, that kind of stuff on TV. Like, kids are at school.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like if something's going to be on for, like, 8 hours during the middle of the day, it's probably going to be kids that are homesick. Like, I remember Blue's Clues used to be on all the time on Nickelodeon. And the reason I remember this is because every time I get sick, I would watch Blue's Clues all day long because it was, like, the only thing on Nickelodeon all day. It was, like, on all day long, and then, like, finally at, like, 2 o'clock, they'd start showing other stuff. You know what I mean?
Spencer's just in the freaking Skype chat. Let's ask him. Spencer, we're recording a podcast with Kaitrin. You want to join us?
You can ask him.
Right now.
I just hung out with him yesterday. Surprise guest appearance.
No,
he's playing D&D.
He's playing D&D.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a fucking nerd. Next bit of news.
I've been really into Dungeons and Dragons because the Adventure Zone.
I got kicked out. My friend Fluffu, she was just like, you know what, Pan, you're not funny. Get the fuck out. And I was kicked out like our first game, like 10 minutes in. Sad. Anyway, so news. Hey.
Look, guys, saying waffles over and over isn't funny. It's annoying. Please stop.
Waffles, 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 waffles.
Remember those DC superhero girls that sort of, it's like this Flash cartoon online by Warner Brothers about like all these DC superhero girls and they go to high school together?
Yeah, I had some friends that worked on that.
Well, it turns out like Lauren Faust is gonna be working on a 2018 TV series for that, a complete overhaul like for TV.
As Lauren Faust is working on it, she slowly turns around and sees Craig in the corner, and he says, "You've betrayed us, Lauren. You went back to the people who threw us out like trash."
Yeah.
And Lauren says, "Listen, honey, I need to make money."
One of us does.
And Craig,
I'm excited. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
and Craig just hisses and goes under his Powerpuff Girls painted rock.
So wait, is it a rehaul, like art design, or is it? Because I assume
I don't know.
it would be the same.
I recall Lauren Faust saying that it would be a completely different show, like essentially a reboot.
I guess it's...
Oh, great, another reboot.
Well, it's its own canon, so whatever, I'm sure the...
Not Cartoon Network, it's Warner Brothers.
It's like...
It is
it's essentially
2018.
It's essentially
so,
like Monster High, so where they, like, just start fresh with a new design, and just, like, Ghoulia's missing for some reason.
That's what I was going to say was, like, with it being 2018, that's enough time for the current toys to be out and done and put in clearance.
Oh.
Because that was the only thing I was worried about, was like, well, they have toys out. Why would they change the art style when they already have a brand out, you know?
We'll see, but yeah, Monster High, please bring back Ghoulia. We miss
No one
her.
cares about Monster High.
Shut up!
Oh, hey, this is so random, but I have a friend who's a board artist who was a board artist on Monster High, and you could have her on your podcast, probably.
Oh, God,
You like Monster High so much.
Can she explain what happened to Ghoulia?
I don't know anything about Monster High.
Damn.
Kaitrin, you know Pan enough. Do you really want to put someone that works on that show just for Pan to talk about the underage girls?
No, they're no.
I feel like Kelly can hold her own. She probably
What?
would
No,
step
hang
down.
on. Draculaura is 118, or was that Mavis? Shit. Anyway, hey, other news. Gigi.
Close enough.
Shut up. No.
Instead of satisfying Pan's fantasies, what do I have to do to get Grandpa Max wrapped on the show?
God damn it.
Chop chop. That was a
No
joke.
comment.
Oh,
Man, there's so many opportunities for rappings with Spider Monkey.
Spider Monkey's not in our show.
what?
I know, but I mean, like in the old
Kaitrin!
show.
Put him back. He was not.
I don't have any control.
Put that
over
back
anything.
where it came from, or so help me. Dun 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 dun.
to Mr. Enter.
What?
Huh?
If you work on the show, you basically control every aspect of it according to Mr. Enter and everybody else.
Shit.
I don't have control over anything. I just like help with stuff.
A likely story.
Damn.
You can't like, you know, do a sketch, slip it underneath someone's like door.
I mean, I could, and then they go, Kaitrin, why did you draw this, and put it under my door, and then it would probably end up in the trash.
Oh.
No, but that's really fun. That's really funny to me because I just picture Kaitrin like slipping a storyboard written on a napkin under the door, and it's like done in crayon, and it's like Ben fighting Godzilla, and they're like, Kaitrin, we don't own Godzilla, we can't do this. And
Guys, straight up, I have like made jokes to people and been like, we should do this, and like literally, like people who are very high up in the show, and they've literally laughed and been like, ha ha ha, oh, Kaitrin.
Oh.
And that happens a lot. So, like,
Kaitrin, who let you out of your cage?
basically, I hide in my hole, and I
Get back in your cage.
and I build animatics, and I cry.
We'll leave a nice scrap of ham in your cage this time.
I'm joking. I love my job. It's fun. I love Cartoon Network.
You work on your job at like a little hamster cage, and you have like a little water thing for the hamsters to drink from.
That's me.
Yeah.
I run, so I have to run to power my computer. So like my hamster will, like the energy goes, and then that's how I.
That's K&D 2x4 technology. But I wanted to talk about the final bit of news. So J.G. Quintel, the creator of Regular Show,
Is that?
diaper fetish, we know.
We don't. That is
Okay.
not true. Alleged. Okay, but J.G. Quintel, the creator of Regular Show, yeah, he moved on to. He's producing a new show for TBS, and there's some screenshots. But essentially, it's called Close Enough. Close Enough is a surreal take on transitioning from 20-something to 30-something. The show centers on a married couple juggling everyday challenges such as parenthood, friendship, ham theft, stripper clowns, and choosing the right daycare. Who is playing Mario 64?
It's Nolan.
What's going on?
What just
Hello?
happened?
You were playing Mario 64?
I turned off my mic. What the fuck?
What was that?
Can you hear me?
You
Yeah, we
didn't.
can hear you.
You were listening to the Dar Dire Doc song, and you were laughing really creepily.
I turned off my mic. What the fuck?
Well, it was a ghost. But anyway.
We all heard you.
But yeah,
I clicked the mic thing on Discord.
we're on Skype, Nolan.
Oh, fuck.
God damn it. But yeah, this show...
So that's staying in, isn't it?
Yes. But this show is
Oh,
pretty interesting. I'm interested in this show. Like, the screenshots look exactly like a regular show. But with J.G. Quintel's self-insert. But, like, I like how it's now about 30-somethings, whereas regular show was about 20-somethings. So that'll be interesting. I think it'll be something like that show Baby Blues, if anyone remembers that on Adult Swim.
Oh yeah, that was a cute show. I like that show.
Yeah, it only lasted 13 episodes, and one of those Warner Brothers bought 13 episodes of and abandoned, sadly.
No.
So the new show, Close Enough. I saw like 8 seconds of footage from it. Is it just me, or is it JT Quintel the main character?
Yeah, like if you know in 2 in the AM PM, his call it short, that was him. That's him in this show. And there, if you notice in some episodes of regular show, it's that same background character that looks close to JG in the background, so it's him. So maybe he'll be preying on Blossom one episode, you know. So yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, you guys want to get into the questions to end off on?
Scott Pilgrim, prepare to feel the wrath of the League of Evil Exes. What? You don't know about the League coming to kill you, controlling the future of Ramona's love life?
No.
Oh, hey, don't worry about it.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, rated PG-13.
I want to take them apart.
Questions. If anybody has a question, be sure to leave your question in the YouTube comments of this YouTube video. And be sure to start out with the word question so it's easier to find. And our first question is from, Link MacLeod. Question, what's your favorite more style over substance film, animated or not?
Grindhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's a fun one. That's Zoe's favorite movie, Planet Terror.
Scott Pilgrim, I guess.
Oh, that's good too.
It had some substance.
No, I know it had substance, but like compared to the book, it was pretty bare bones. But the style made up for it in spades. Like it's exactly how Scott Pilgrim would be as a movie.
Yeah, because some fans are like mixed, like if they like the movie or not. Like maybe it could have worked as two films, but I like what we got.
Same.
I like Captain Underpants.
Captain Underpants is a very substance movie, my friend.
I assume so. I just wanted to make a joke.
Oh, I was gonna say I have one. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Rock and Roll.
Yeah. All those, yeah, that shit's fucking crazy.
So that movie looks like amazing. Like even now it looks so good. But I'm still like, and the music's good, but I'm still like, what happened? What was the plot of this movie? I don't remember.
I get the same feeling from a lot of like Studio Gainax or Trigger animations.
Yeah.
Like if anyone's seen Dead Leaves, it's just this big fucking crazy ass anime from the director of Panty and Stocking and Kill la Kill. Dead Leaves, that's what it's called. Like I watched it once and I was like, well, it's done, and I don't remember a single thing that happened, but it was cool.
I also kind of feel that way about like Titan AE and Atlantis. I mean, I think their stories are still pretty decent, but I think like the visuals of that movie, like the movies aren't like the plots aren't like anything new or interesting, but the way they look is like really good.
Yeah.
I got one. Interstellar 5555.
Ah, yeah. Well, it's a music video.
Oh yeah.
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 It's just a giant music video,
Pretty
but it's super
much.
good.
Oh yeah. Style. Well, I would like Sucker Punch, but I don't know. After a while, it just became boring and just like these locations are all the same. What a disaster. Zack Snyder's a fucking hack. But anyway, let's see. JT Perez, what's your favorite Gorillaz song or music video? And which of your favorite Gorillaz album? I don't keep track of albums, but going into my iTunes, what's the most played Gorillaz song? Let's see. I have Clint Eastwood, Fi Life Cypher remix, 2000. Rock the House. What was it? El Mañana. Crap.
I love Rock the House is still like one of my all-time favorite songs. That's such a good house. Like such a good song.
Yeah.
Such a good house.
One of the newer ones that a lot of people seem to hate is Hallelujah Money. I don't know. Something about it I really like, just like how creepily it is.
I really like Ghost.
Ghost Zoinks.
Wait. Like Zoinks!
Like
No, that music video was pretty cool too.
Like Zoinks, man, there's a ghost in the shell.
Yeah, I really like. I mean, I was really impressed with Saturn's Bars when that came out, and then I think my favorite song though still was Feel Good Inc. Classic.
I intentionally mixed up Gorillaz with Mystery Skulls, and none of you got mad. I'm disappointed. I set you guys up for a good
I was
joke.
confused. Like Ghost. What's Gorillaz song was that?
You know, it's funny because you said Ghosts, and I thought Mystery Skulls has a song called Ghosts, but I hadn't heard of Gorillaz. But I also I'm not going to sit here and claim I've heard every Gorillaz song. So
yeah, it's like what Ghost? Which one's that? I was like, that sounds like a Gorillaz
Mystery
song.
Skulls
Whatever.
is such a good band, though, man.
Yeah. But yeah. Moral question: is it wrong to fuck Noodle?
I mean, she's over 18 now.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, never mind.
Again,
you lost interest. Oh, she's 18.
No, wait, that's not what I meant. No.
I don't understand why we have. Never mind. Go on.
No, you finish. You fucking finish.
Finish it.
Finish it. Yeah.
From evil.
But yeah. I don't know. Do you have a favorite visuals for the? I mean, like a music video? Because I like 2000, but because it's just them driving through a highway. But go on.
Wait, is that Stylo?
Prozac?
Huh?
Do you remember the band Prozac?
Uh-oh.
They did
Simon and Milo?
Get a Clue. Yeah.
Aren't they back?
No.
I swear they made a comeback. Simon and Milo, this other animated band nobody cares about, and their only notable thing is that they were in a Disney Extreme Skate Adventure.
Were they?
Simon and Milo, they were part of Prozac, I believe.
Well, they're okay. So they're originally Prozac, I think Canadian band.
Yeah.
And then they got brought over. They got like a deal with Disney to do the theme song to Get a Clue. Lindsay Lohan TV movie.
Yeah.
And when they did that, they rebranded them to make them more appealing in America. And so it was no longer Prozac. It was Simon and Milo, the characters' names. And it's basically they have an ongoing story about Simon and Milo used to be enemies, but somehow are now immortal until Simon can find true love.
So when he gets laid, he fucking dies?
It's not get laid, find true love. He has sex all the time.
Shit. Well, I guess it's meaningless then.
He's not you, Pan.
Oh.
And so like every song is basically that, and then he rebooted it again back to Prozac, and it's called Cruel Cruel World, where it's all black and white, and they gave one of the characters was like notorious for not having a neck.
Mm-hmm. He floated,
and all of a sudden now he has a neck.
What?
And
they fucking sold out.
They did, and it's like all depressing music instead of happy. It's weird, but yeah, no, it's not bad.
I thought since his head floats and he doesn't have a neck, I thought it would be like some sort of, I don't know, tragic story about how he got guillotined at some point, but no, I guess that idea is too good for them. Oh well.
Got a little lunch if there is something going on now. Then I look at me and I start to see, and a voice inside tells me what I must do. Wake up, boo new, it's me, it's you, get a clue.
All right, but next question. James Vixen says, question, do you prefer Mario or Sonic?
What do you
Mario.
think? Fuck off.
Yeah, Mario.
Fuck off.
Oh,
well, okay. Mario probably for game, Sonic for like the old original animated show, but I never really played any of the Sonic games, so sorry, Nolan.
Well, I like exploring as Mario at my own pace. You know, I love 3D platformers, and I'm glad, like, you know, there's 3 of them. You know, you got right now 3 of them right now. You got the upcoming Mario one, and you got Yooka-Laylee, and I'm sure there's a third one, Hat in Time, and that's it. So, you know, platformers are coming back. Just wait, you know.
They just got to be better games, because we already know Odyssey's probably gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yooka-Laylee is mixed.
Yeah, I heard it was okay. I still want to play it though.
It's I haven't got a chance to play it, but I've watched enough reviews about it. I'm waiting to get a Switch and to get a Switch version of it.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right. Well, it's just one of those things where I pre-ordered for the Wii U, and then all of a sudden I don't have it.
Fuck.
You know.
Have you tried contacting them saying, "Hey, I pre-ordered for the Wii U. Do I not get a Switch back?"
They sent a thing, and you got an option to either get a refund, switch to another. It was refund, switch to Steam, or wait until the Switch comes out.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting. But anyways, the big issue with the game is that like it gets a lot of the idea of Banjo-Kazooie right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you look at it, you're like, okay, this feels like a Banjo-Kazooie game. The problem is there's a lot of mechanical things, like something as simple as, remember in Banjo-Kazooie, they had the music notes, and they lined them up to like make you want to go in certain areas.
Uh-huh.
Well, in Yooka-Laylee, their version of it, Quills, are just randomly placed. Some of them are hidden. Like, they're not paths. Like, that's such a simple thing that we don't think about, but that's such a core part of the mechanic of the game, and it's completely messed up. So.
Wow.
I don't know. It's a bunch of people that haven't worked on a 3D platformer in like 10 years, all of a sudden working on a 3D platformer, and they forgot some things.
What is this? 3D? No, never mind. Another Sonic question. Chu Aru question. If you, Sega, was to bring back Chao Gardens, how would you want it to be? A part of a Sonic game or its own digital mobile app? What would you want the Chao to do?
Digital mobile app, so I don't have to deal with that fucking crap.
Yeah, that'd be fun as like its own app.
It just sounds like an app at this point.
Yeah, like I mean, the Chao Garden from Sonic Adventure, like that came out at the time of Tamagotchis were huge, so you know, no one really does that anymore.
You know, in retrospect, the Magikarp Jump game that just recently came out is essentially a Chao Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, really? The Magikarp? Oh, yeah, I heard there's some Magikarp Pokemon app that came out. That's what it is. Like,
it looks cute, but I haven't played it yet.
It's cute, but it's awful. Like, it's super boring and repetitive. There's nothing appealing about it, but here I am at level 37.
Yeah. Apparently there is.
Relatable.
I mean, my biggest problem with it is that, like, you have to train. Your Magikarp has a cap based off your rank. So like I'm rank 37, so my Magikarp at most can be level 47, which means I have to run him through the league, the trainer thing, even though I know he's going to lose because he's not strong enough, and I have to keep raising them to max until eventually my rank goes up, and then I can have a stronger one. It's I don't know. It's not well done. There's a lot of flaws to it, but here I am.
Yeah.
Playing it as we speak.
Apparently it works, so they don't have to improve. But Dustin Noah says, question, if the members of System of a Down were forced to save the world, would they be called the Self-Righteous Suicide Squad?
I love that question. Yes.
I don't fucking get that joke.
Oh, it's from
Oh.
You never heard of the song like
Self-righteous suicide.
Father.
The only System of a Down song.
I love System of a Down like a lot.
I cry.
I only know the album with violent pornography. That's the only one I know.
That is also a great song.
You know, Nolan, it's the song that goes, I cry when angels deserve to die. That one. That's the song. You know? Nolan?
It's called Self-righteous suicide. Yeah. Okay.
Nolan.
Next question.
Right?
Come back. Arms for Mins. Question, what's your favorite depiction of God in a cartoon?
The Simpsons, I guess, comes to mind immediately.
I was gonna say the Jesus Buddha anime where they're roommates.
Well, that's not God.
It's
not God technically,
in
but
some
it's definitely like one of
religions, yeah, possibly. I'm not sure about these things.
But it's so there's like this episode where they're in a bath and there's like a yakuza and he's talking about his like stigmatas and he's like, oh yeah, like my people did this to me, and he's like, your people? What did you do? And then he's like it's just the whole thing where he's talking about like getting resurrected, and the yakuza thinks he's like a big badass who like fucking got beat, and he like came back and was like, I'm back, bitches. It's like the yakuza are like, this dude's so hardcore.
Oh shit,
it's really funny.
Okay, well, there's there's also the depiction of God in Futurama. If anyone remember that great episode. No one's seen this.
Was there Adult Swim?
Huh?
I've seen every episode of Futurama. I just don't remember it.
It was the one where Bender gets stranded out in space, and then
oh yeah, where Bender has like a whole like civilization in his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, that was a good I mean, that was a good religious episode. I mean, crap, I forgot. But he had that. God had that scene where he said, if you do something right, no one would know if you did something at all. You know? I can't explain it, but you know. It was a good episode. Yeah, but
wasn't there an Adult Swim show about a guy being talked to by the devil and God?
That was crap, what was it called? Lucy, the daughter of the devil. I know this because the girl was hot, but I don't know.
That's not it.
Shit.
It's like God, Devil, and Bob or something.
Oh, that's actually like an ABC family show that came out a long ass time ago, but it got canceled because people were like, you can't have this in 2001. Like now they could likely do this on Adult Swim, but on primetime TV, he's like, hell no. Yeah, but God, Devil, and the Bob, that was, it only lasted 13 episodes, and it was just this guy who was in charge of, hey, I'm God, I have to determine if I should like wipe out all of Earth or not, and I'm gonna depend on you or something. You know. So, is this the end of the podcast? I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people?
You didn't let us answer.
Oh, well, you didn't. No one said anything. What's the answer?
No, you go, is this the end of the podcast? I'm Pan Pizza. Who are you people? Like, there was no pause.
I don't fucking know. Well, is this the end of the podcast?
Hey, did you guys know that for like one Sonic game, Dr. Eggman looked like a real human being and it fucked everyone up?
You mean Sonic 06?
Yeah. Just
It's not exactly something we can forget, Nolan. That's pretty just ingrained in our minds.
He had a bulge. He had a bulge.
It was just like, why did they do that to Dr. Eggman?
You kind of sounded like the Sonic from the, or not Sonic, the Eggman from Sonic OVA, the movie.
Ew.
I love that OVA.
Ew.
Yeah, like when he did that yelling, he kind of sounded like him.
Yeah, that movie sucked. But I guess this.
No, it didn't. You suck.
Shut up, Tails. Oh, we have a question for me. It says, hang on, where? Question.
Oh my God, end this.
Gabby Sabbath. What are Emily and Stephany's favorite animes? Oh my gosh, I like Sword Art Online and Attack on Titan. It's so epic.
Hey, everybody. This is the end of the podcast. That's Kaitrin. That's
to be
Izzy.
in the Naruto clan.
There. You guys can go over and get an autograph from him.
Okay.
The Pan Pizza. Subscribe. The next video is going to be top 5 cartoons. Goodbye, every pony. Bye.
When I was at a convention, Pan was nice enough to buy me a bunch of ninja stars.
Bye.
Bye.
I hurt myself with one, but bye.
Are we done?
Fuckers. Yeah. You interrupted Stephanie's story.
Who cares? Stephany sucks.
Oh.